Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Jay Moore. I'm the founder of the group called The Ordinary Christian, and I'm also the pastor of a church here in Tucson, Arizona called The Central Place. At The Ordinary Christian, this group is designed to empower, encourage, and equip God's people, ordinary Christians, to live powerful missional lives by shining the light of Christ in their part of this dark world through making more and more disciples. In other words, to help, encourage, and equip God's people to join Christ on his mission, the Great Commission. And so today, I wanted to kind of just give you a little thought, something to think about, an idea here that kind of crossed my mind. I was listening to this preacher earlier, and he was talking about something that really caught my attention, and God has helped me to form this that I want to share with you today. And so there's this question that I want to ask you. The question is this: have you allowed Satan to rob you of your identity in Christ? Let me ask it again. Have you allowed Satan to rob you of your identity in Christ? In other words, identity robbery, robbing people of their identity. Now, that's something that's quite talked about a lot. To protecting your identity, protecting it so people can't rob your identity. And it's usually when people rob your identity, they're trying to pretend to be you, through getting your social security numbers, getting your bank numbers, and that way they can, in ways, cheat people, steal from people, get money in your name, your credit. And so they have robbed you of your identity, pretending to be you. Now, that's not how I'm asking that question, because I'm not asking you if Satan has robbed your identity in Christ by pretending to be you. In other words, I'm asking, has he robbed you by tricking you or allowing you to not know or accept or have faith in who you really are in Christ? Has he robbed you of identity so you don't even know really who you are in Christ? There's a lot of Christians walking around not truly understanding through their faith in Christ who they have become, what their life is supposed to be like. And so I want to share with you what part of that identity in Christ is, especially since you're still living here on earth. Your identity in Christ while here in this world. It's found in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, and we're going to start looking at verses 17 and read on down to verse 20. Listen to what it says. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away, and see, the new has come. Everything is from God, who has reconciled us to himself through Christ and has given us the ministry of reconciliation. That is, in Christ, God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting their trespasses against them, and he has committed the message of reconciliation to us. Therefore, we are ambassadors for Christ. Since God is making his appeal through us, we plead on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. Now, I want us to stop right there. Did you notice this? That it says there that we are a new creation in Christ. Old things have passed away. All things have become new. And part of that newness, of all things being new, is this identity of being an ambassador for Christ, who has been entrusted, that God has entrusted to us, his ambassadors, the ministry of reconciliation, helping people to be reconciled back to God, through us sharing the message of reconciliation. He's given us the ministry of reconciliation, and we're making our plea to God as if God himself was making it through us. In other words, as his ambassadors, that's our identity, we are to share the gospel message, the good news of Jesus Christ, to as many people as we possibly can while we're still in this world, so that they can have the opportunity to respond to that gospel and surrender their lives over to his care and his control. This is who we are. It's our identity. We're ambassadors for Christ. And my fear is that many people have allowed Satan to rob them of that identity. Either have blinded them or not allow them to read this or have them question it or allow their fears and their reservations to keep them from it, that they don't quite understand or haven't quite accepted yet that even though they're just an ordinary Christian, they're still an ambassador of the kingdom of heaven. They're still Christ. They're King's ambassador to this foreign world. And they, as part of an ambassador's job, they are to speak the words of Christ on his behalf. And in this case, it's the gospel message. We do it. Why? Because it's who we are. It's our identity. See, there's some real importance with this. And the importance is this. Once you know who you are, then you'll know what you're supposed to be doing. But if you have forgotten or never knew who you really are, then you're never quite sure what you're supposed to be doing. Identity gives us permission to do what that identity is supposed to do. I don't have to ask permission from people to go share the gospel. Why? Because Christ has already given me the identity of being his ambassador. But not just me, you too. That's right, you are. If you've surrendered your life over to the care and control of Christ, and you are his disciple, you are his follower, you are a true born-again Christian, you are an ambassador for Christ. Not that you might be one day or could be someday, you are. The question is not whether you are. The Bible's already answered that. You are an ambassador for Christ. The only question that remains is how good of an ambassador are you going to be? But now that I'm sharing this with you, don't allow Satan to rob you of this identity. What a wonderful, powerful identity it is to say that I stand as the ambassador of the kingdom of heaven. I stand as an ambassador of Christ, and I've been given the privilege and the honor and the responsibility to share his word to this world who's lost and dying in sin. And that word is this. It's the gospel message. Be reconciled with Christ. His death, his burial, his resurrection has given you free access into the presence of God if you will believe in his death, burial, resurrection, and if you will surrender over your life to his lordship, to make him the boss of your life. So Christian, I got to ask you a question. What are you going to do? Your identity's been given to you by Christ himself, by God himself. You don't pick and choose it. He gave it to you. You are an ambassador for Christ. So what are you going to do with this information? What are you going to do with this epiphany of who you really are? Are you going to go out and start doing what an ambassador is supposed to do? I know what you might be thinking. Okay, I know that's what I should be doing, but I don't feel competent and I don't feel confident doing it. So what do you need to do? You need to get trained. Training will give you competence. It'll teach you how to go shine the light of Christ brightly in your part of this dark world. Training will give you competence in being able to share a simple, reproducible gospel message. Training will help you to be able to share your story. Competence just comes with training. The confidence comes with practice, doing it again and again and again and again. Are you willing to get training? So if you are, I've put a link down below. And the link is really simply this. I got this 3-part gospel training, gospel sharing training videos that I'll send to you, email it to you. Hit the link below, give me your name, give me your email address, and I will email to you this 3-training session on sharing the gospel. It's just a real basic training, cursory training. It'll get you started. And then I've got some other trainings that I'm developing and getting out to people. But this way, you'll be on my emailing list and you'll be able to hear about when they come out. Start affording yourself to participate in these trainings that I'm offering and any training that your church offers too. So let me end with this to remind you. Don't let Satan steal your identity. Don't let him rob you of who you are in Christ. Who are you? You're an ambassador to the kingdom of heaven, for the kingdom of heaven. You are Christ's ambassador to this dark world to share his good news. All right, this is Jay Moore. Take care. God bless you. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.